All right, good afternoon. Time is 2:23. We now have a tornado warning issued on this supercell headed for West Columbia, a spot that was hit just a couple weeks ago. Tornado warning for Fort Bend and Brazoria counties. This goes through 2:45 now. So the rotation is significant enough. There's a decent hook echo shape here, and you can see the little inflow notch right there just west of West Columbia. And again, that is a significant thunderstorm. Let me read it here. There's a chance, of course, it's radar indicated, but we're likely going to see reports come out around here. This is the cell that about an hour ago did produce a couple of brief funnel clouds over Needville, and this cell is now moving south and east. Eventually, Wallace, you might end up being Wallace and Sealy. That's our second cell back to the west. Eventually, Lake Jackson, Angleton, if this holds together. But right now, West Columbia around 2:35. So in about 10 minutes here, if you're in West Columbia, you have about 10 minutes here to prepare. Here comes the latest radar skit. And again, 31,000 people now in this tornado warning that continues. Let me put on the velocities and we'll zoom in here to West Columbia. Again, tornado warning just issued by the Weather Service. Let's pull up, again, storm relative velocities. And this would be the spot right here if there is going to be a tornado that touches down here. Let me draw that track. Again, West Columbia and East Columbia. It's moving quite a bit faster than that. Let's move the track. And again, this storm is moving at about 25 miles per hour. So there we go. 2:35 West Columbia if that continues. So that's right on. So there it is. If there's a spot, and David, if we could clear that. I'm going to zoom in. Let me try to give some of the roads right there on that cell. And again, I have, let's pull me back up here if we could on the BAM. Again, storm relative velocities here. There's a couple of areas right here, little notch right there near FM 1301. That's the spot right there just west of Texas Highway 35 and Highway 36. So coming right into West Columbia, there's the rotation right there. And again, it doesn't look quite as impressive on storm relative. If you can pull up base velocities, and we'll see it here, that's the storm that they just tornado warned for until 2:45. There you go. Look at that. Look at the dueling wind speeds. So again, the radar site's up here. So these green winds are coming towards the radar. The red is moving away, so you get that counterclockwise rotation, right? This way in the red. So that, if there's going to be a touchdown, it's right there west of West Columbia. And David, what concerns me about that, Chief Forecaster David Tillman in here, that it does look like it's in the general direction of that could head in towards downtown West Columbia. So right now, again, no confirmation of a touchdown, still watching that cell. And coming up at 3 o'clock, we're also going to want to watch that cell west of Katy and Sealy. It's also starting to rotate. It's got a little hook on it as well. That one's moving in the general direction of Wallace. So again, tornado warning still continues through 2:45. 31,000 people roughly in that warning. West Columbia, you're the ones I want you to take immediate tornado safety precautions. You don't need a storm shelter. You don't need a basement. Go to the lowest central portion of your home. You'll be just fine. Again, radar indicated if it were to touch down, it would likely be brief at this point. But again, stay away from exterior windows or walls. Don't get caught in a car. Okay, you need to be seeking shelter if you're in the tornado warning. Your smartphone's likely going off. Let's zoom in, if you could, David, right here on the shear tracks. Look at that. So the wind shear, this is the track of the past wind shear. So it looks like up near Needville. Notice how that's moved more southeast. We just talked about it. I posted pictures on Facebook just a moment ago of a couple of funnel clouds near Needville. And back here, look like a couple of funnel clouds near Wharton. So I wouldn't be shocked if this did have at least a brief couple of funnel clouds with it over West Columbia. All right, let's zoom in and take velocities here so we can get a close-up view of how close it is to West Columbia. Again, a town that could take, again, you're right in the path. So if this continues, you're right center line. It's coming right for West Columbia. Again, there's the rotation west of downtown. And again, we're going to have to see if on radar if this continues to move more southeast or if it moves more eastward here. There it comes through. And it looks like the last couple of scans, David, looks like it came down a little bit. But it still is pronounced there from what I can see, north of 35, west of 36. You should not be outside right now trying to see this. You should not be anywhere near this. Take immediate tornado safety precautions. A lot of rain coming down, too. So you're likely not going to get a good view of this as it continues to move south and east. Tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, flash flood warning. Now, we're also watching this cell back to the west, too, with a hook in it. This one, we're going to have to watch closely. It's west of Katy, moving east generally, a little bit more southeast now too as it picks up. Notice it's kind of trying to move a little, well, it's moving more east than southeast. And Wallace, Looks like a little hook right near Wallace here. Again, no warning on that cell. Let's go back to the tornado warning. There is broad rotation there. I don't see it tight enough just yet, but one tornado warning on the map still, again, for this cell near West Columbia. So let's wait one more moment here to see the next radar skit that comes through, and we'll see how this updates. But again, that is looking pretty decent right there. That's a strong supercell thunderstorm. If you would you take off lightning for me? Let's take off lightning so we can get a better view, there you go, of the hook. So here's your supercell, and on the southwest side, there you go. There's your hook and your inflow notch right here. So if warm air is going to try and move in this, it's going to be right in here. So there's that hook. We're going to wait for the radar to update again. Let me know if they have updates. Would you go over to the Weather Service there and see if they have updates on this warning? Is that an update to it? So again, we're seeing that.
This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for east central Colorado County, northern Wharton County.
That's the cell then off to the west near Sealy and Katy that we're talking about.
Yeah, and this is for 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail.
Okay, so that's the second supercell we'll have to watch now. So all of a sudden, we've had some severe warnings, and there's the tornado warning. Again, if you would, let's zoom down to West Columbia on this cell, and I want to wait and see what the latest radar update does on this cell. Tornado warning continues until 2:45. I'm looking at it here, and the rotation still looks good on advanced radar here. So there you go, just near West Columbia. And let's pull back to velocities, base velocity, and see right in there that hook there. West Columbia, again, headed in your direction. It could move a little to the east, but I don't want to call you out of it. I think it could also head right in towards West Columbia. So take immediate tornado safety precautions. Lowest internal portion of your home, away from windows and walls. Surround yourself with as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Just go to the lowest central portion. A bathroom, interior bathroom is fine. So again, you see that moving south and east. It's moving at about 20 miles an hour, but it looks like it's kind of stalled here. And again, there you go. So there's a spot right here. Again, the green winds, the radar is up here. So the green winds are coming in towards the radar. Red is going away. So it's spinning counterclockwise right here. And if we see, there we go. We just got is that a mid-level lock sign? So a mid-level lock. That's not low level. But you can see the little rotation icon, Doppler radar now picking that up as that tornado warning continues. So again,
this is a 15-minute loop right here.
15-minute loop. I do want to stay with it. Otherwise, we would go back to commercial or to the shows prior to 3 o'clock. But I want to stay with it because it's moving into West Columbia, at least at the moment. I want to stick with this. Again, tornado warning until 2:45, 14 minutes left. It looks like it'll be in West Columbia within 2 to 3 minutes here. So again, tornado warning continues, and it does look like there is decent enough rotation, radar indicated. There's the supercell. There's your hook echo wrapping around, and it's spinning counterclockwise. So it's spinning this direction. And what it's doing in the pink right here, if you take that lightning back off, David, this is actually how most of them behave. In the pink right here is your hail. That's not where your tornado is. That's your heavy rain and hail. But it's doing what we call the sink drain effect. It's like your sink drain. It's pulling all of that down into the hook. So it's rotating around that hook. And that rotation goes up through the cloud, all the way down to the base. And that's why we have a tornado warning, because the rotation in the cloud, in the supercell, has come all the way down near the ground. And Doppler radar at low levels, about 1,000 feet, has indicated rotation that's tight enough to issue a tornado warning. So here's the latest track. Okay, West Columbia, there you go. Again, so the track David has on it now, with it slowing down, has it in West Columbia within the next 10 to 15 minutes. East Columbia 250, Wild Peach if it continues. If it holds together, Brazoria then at 307, Lake Jackson, Central Brazoria County 330-ish, and then Clute 335. And David, if you zoom in, it looks like it has a bigger hail core now. So I think that updraft is fairly strong, and you see the hook right there. It's a pretty good sized hook on this storm, on this supercell. Let's go back to velocities if you don't mind. I want to see what the last radar sweep did as it came through. Again, let's go to base velocity and zoom in right into West Columbia, and I want to read off some roads. There's the rotation icon right there on your hook. This right here, leave it right here, David. That right there, this is what we call inflow. This is, if you were to be near the spot, you'd see low clouds flying in. I'm actually impressed we got that on radar, so the radar site's close enough. When we storm chase, or when we go out and look for this is one of the things you look for on radar. So this is what we call the weak echo region, okay? This is the rear flank downdraft, heavy wind and cold rain, and right in here is warm, rising low air, and even scud clouds. So the rotation is right in there. Let's zoom into West Columbia if we could. There you go. There, David put velocities on these These are our wind speeds. Again, green going this direction, red going that way.
You zoom in too far, and
we're losing texture of the storm.
You're gonna lose the storm.
But that's it right there. I mean, it is right there west of West Columbia now. I mean, man, I do want to stick with this just in case. If you're in West Columbia, I want you to take immediate tornado safety precautions. Take shelter now. That tornado warning goes until 2:45. I suspect we'll get an update on that tornado warning before then. So in a few minutes here, but as David's circling it, there's your hook. And again, this is your warm inflow wrapping into it. So this storm is cycling, and that's your rotation. It's rare to get a presentation as clear as this in southeast Texas, where this warm inflow, you can actually see it on radar right there. So those are clouds that, 500, 1,000, 1,500 feet rolling into the storm, and there you go. And it's spinning, and there's your rear flank downdraft. So it's right here, west. There's the latest update, and that tightened up right there. It looks
up a little bit.
It did tighten up there. So you saw the hook on that latest update pulled back into the storm a little bit. So, it's close. I want to see if we're getting any reports out of that area. Again, tornado warning goes until 2:45. There's the wind shear track. So now the track's kind of expanding a little bit in towards West Columbia.
I'm going to loop this.
Yeah, if you would. So the wind shear, again, this supercell's moving south and east. And there's your wind shear track, something that you're only going to see right here. Again, that wind shear track continues to pick up data every minute, and you're seeing it into West Columbia.
It almost looks like the wind shear, the bulk of it is moving sort of like that, yeah.
But that latest update, let's go back to reflectivity, because it looked like it did tighten up a little bit. And let's pull that up and see. I mean, because the hook, and if we can take lightning off so we can see it clear, because there's just so much lightning in it. So it looks like that inflow notch is smaller. So you have a tighter hook right here. There's the warm inflow. And see, again, there it is. There's your low-level clouds, your stream of inflow right there in the green, and it's wrapping in. It does look more pronounced here now at this point. Again, hail cores to the north. The hail core is going to be in your pink. That's heavy rain and hail. Down here, the tornado is not in the pink. The tornado is the hook echo right there. So again, we're seeing that, and we're coming up on 2:35 now as this storm is right on State Highway 36 and West Columbia. So likely no hail in West Columbia right now. The hail's to the north of you, right here in the dark pink and the black. But right here to the south, that's where that hook echo is that you can see right near West Columbia as that moves. And it looks like the latest hook has it coming right into West Columbia now. So, David, let's...
we have not gotten an update just yet from the National Weather Service, so this warning is going to expire in about...
10 minutes.
Yeah, so it's on its way to expiring. We have not gotten, as far as I can tell, an actual sighting of a tornado.
No.
But it's amazing how close this storm looks to the one that I was chasing on, a couple of weeks ago in West Columbia, in this exact same area. It's like it has the exact same radar presentation as that storm.
Only that one was moving northeast. This is moving southeast. So this, I mean, likely, there you go. They popped up radar full. Thank you, control room. Again, what you're seeing right there, you're seeing the hook echo. And, okay, is that a new warning? No, that's the same warning. So they've got the same warning. They have it moving southeast at 15 miles per hour. So, again, West Columbia in a moment. Now, is that new data coming in? Nope. Okay, so we want to see if we have any reports. I don't have reports yet. Let me pull up.
Tornado warning for southeast Fort Bend County is canceled.
Okay. They updated the tornado warning. Now it's just Brazoria. Yeah.
Capable of producing a tornadoes over West Columbia, moving southeast at 15. So tornado and quarter-size hail. This dangerous storm will be near Wild Peach Village around 250, Holiday Lakes around 255, Lake Jackson, Brazoria, and Bailey's Prairie around 3 o'clock.
Okay, so they're keeping the track at southeast at 15. So they canceled it for Fort Bend. They've continued it for Brazoria. And it's still headed into West Columbia. And I'm looking at rotation right now. I mean, that hook is right there. That looks pretty substantial there, going right into West Columbia now. That's the State Highway 35 bus route. And then you've also got FM 1301. It's moving right into FM 1301. And that's your hook echo right there on the southwestern side of the storm. The hail's up to the north. And it's pulling it all in. That's why the heavy pink is not the tornado. That's the rain. But it pulls it in like a sink drain effect. And here's your weak echo region, right up here inside the hook. This is your rear flank downdraft in the red. That's cold air burst winds coming around the backside, and this is where you have warm rising inflow. So the two of the winds are dueling. They're moving counterclockwise, and that's it. So we're going to wait for another radar update here momentarily, and we'll see what they also do with the tornado warning. They're going to have to make a decision here soon. It expires in 7 minutes as is. So there's the hook echo. Again, there's the wind shear track coming in. There's velocities and lightning off of it, and it's right west of West Columbia, right there. So the green winds are moving northeast. The red away from the radar. So it's spinning like this right here, and it's right west of State Highway 36, I believe that is, right there, just north of town, but it's right there. So if you're in West Columbia, you need to take immediate tornado safety precautions. There's the latest update. Looks like it jogged just a little bit more eastward or north a little bit. So there's your hook.
Yeah, so anybody on the west and southwest side of West Columbia should really be paying close attention to this storm. I guess that's Highway 35 that's leading out of West Columbia to the south. Yeah. There's also another small road here, that's Highway 30, that's Business 35. I know that because I was on it just 2 weeks ago, storm chasing this particular area. So that's Business, Highway 35 there, the main Highway 35 to the left of there, Highway 36 just to the east, or on the right-hand side of the screen.
Pull up velocities again. It looks like, at least from what I can see,
is where we're most concerned about, where that little notch is hanging down.
That's a TVS signature. Let's bring this back up. So radar has a tornado vortex signature. Let's click on that. In fact, query that if you can, David, and it'll give us the data on the tornado vortex signature. So it looks like there's a little bit of a couplet down just on FM 1459. I think you might have to click the icon right on it. So that's a TVS now coming in. Gate-to-gate shear all around here is broad. It's not super tight. But again, when your radar spits out a TVS icon like that, that shows you the potential for at least very low-level rotation. So right now, again, it's moving south and east at about 15 miles an hour. I do have a TVS on it, and it's right near and south of 35 there. But again, this is the hook. This is the spot right here where we're watching for that rotation, west of West Columbia. Let's see what they do with the warning here. They haven't issued a new warning on it yet. That tornado warning goes until 2:45, so 5 more minutes here.
So this is the large hail up here.
Large hail in the pink and the black.
That's heading in that direction just about like that.
And it's being pulled around the center. So you see the hook echo down at the bottom is where your rotation is.
Hook echo right there, where the possible tornado is right there. We want to call it possible tornado because
we don't have confirmation.
We don't have confirmation that there's actually a tornado on the ground. But this storm could produce a tornado at any time. The rotation that we're seeing here today is nowhere near as strong as what we had, of course, last week when that monster tornado went across parts of Polk County. This is more akin to the storm that was actually in West Columbia a couple of weeks ago, and we had that brief tornado touchdown. It wasn't a really strong one. It was just something, it was just a very brief tornado touchdown. A bunch of pictures came in about it, and this is kind of the same situation that we're in at this particular time. So, yeah, this is not the most tornadic storm I've ever seen, but it certainly is something that we need to keep an eye on to see what's happening with it. And just some suspicious areas around West Columbia and to the south and west over towards Old Ocean, just to the east of there, down Highway 35 there we need to watch. And eventually this is moving over towards Highway 36 as well, the area that we could begin to see some activity develop towards there. But right now, we've not actually sighted a tornado. We don't have any confirmations of a tornado on the ground, but this tornado warning remains in effect until 2:45, and that's less than 3 minutes, Collin. So we'll see what the national.
And if you would go ahead and ask them if you would open up and see what they're planning to do, or if they've had any reports. If you would do that, David, I do want to see if they've had any reports, because that's a tight hook signature right there, just west of West Columbia. Look at that. Even the latest radar skid, it's tightened up a little bit. So you have your heavy winds, the rear flank downdraft right behind it, and you've got warm rising air right into it. So again, I just want to stay with it for the folks in West Columbia right now, because I want to be careful. Tornado warning expires in 3 minutes, but again, if that moves over populated areas, and you guys are no strangers to this, you saw this 2 weeks ago. So again, wow. Let's go ahead and ask them what they're seeing on that. I'm going to zoom in and see if they have any reports on this storm. Again, there's your hook echo, pretty pronounced west of 36. That is, that's a tight signature. When you look at velocities, it's not quite as pronounced. But right there, you can see where the green winds are coming in towards the red. So the green are moving north and east, the red are moving that way, and you get rotation like this, counterclockwise, right here over parts of West Columbia now. So again, tornado warning continues. We're going to see if they're going to extend that or cancel it here in just a moment as we continue to watch that.
I have a feeling,
goes,
just looking at this,
that they'll let it go.
Probably expire it because even though we're seeing bright reds and bright greens, they're not exactly right next to each other.
And we just have no reports.
Yeah, now if we do get a report of a funnel cloud sighted or a tornado sighted, then they will of course reissue it there. But if not, they will probably let this expire in about a minute.
Yeah, and we'll see what they do with that, and we hope they do. If not, we'll watch it, and of course, coming up at 3 o'clock, we'll have more updates on that. Look at that hook, though. I mean, that's your weak echo region right in here. So right here is your weak echo region. There's hardly any rain falling. It's warm air rising into the updraft. Right here, there's heavy rain being wrapped around. So you have that hook right there. So let's see. We've got, what, 45 more seconds in the warning. We'll just wait and see what they do real quick, because, again, if you're in West Columbia, tornado warning, I want you taking immediate tornado safety precautions. The next storm we'll have to watch coming up at 3 o'clock in our newscast is there's a big storm west of Katy now with the severe thunderstorm warning. So let's see what they do. It expires in 30 seconds here. Again, that hook looks pretty good. Is that a new warning polygon that you have there, David? Is there a new one on it, or is it just the same one? It's the same one.
I think that's the same one from the update.
So let's see. It'll pop off of here in about 10 seconds if they do just go ahead and expire it. The velocities, again, there are dueling winds in there. It's more broad, though, as David was saying. I mean, we've got strong winds, inflow winds, but I just don't see a super tight couplet at this time.
Yeah, you got bright green over here and bright red over here.
But there's no, it's not right gate to gate.
Actually, let me put these arrows on here, bright green, winds going this way, and bright red over here. Now,
so
if they were
spinning counterclockwise.
Right next to each other, I mean, then we would be a little bit more concerned about there actually being a tornado with this.
I agree. Well, it looks like they've opted to.
So, yeah, severe thunderstorm warning.
So and tornado possible tag. So they've canceled the tornado warning. They've gone severe thunderstorm warning. We've talked about this before with a tag in it that says a tornado is possible. So that's not quite as imminent as a tornado warning where you need to take immediate shelter. But if you are in West Columbia, just take shelter. Go to the lowest central portion of your home and be just fine. Eventually, that's headed for Angleton, Lake Jackson. David, if you would, let's go up to the storm west of Sealy. This is the next storm we need to talk about. It has hail, it has heavy winds, it has high rain rates, and it's got a lot of lightning. Coming up at 3 o'clock, we're going to have the latest on this cell and the one down near West Columbia. This one, if it continues, is heading in towards western Harris County. So this one, if this continues course, is headed in the direction of Katy, eastern Waller County, eventually western parts of Harris County and Houston. All right, so since the tornado warning has been expired, we will let this cut in go, but we'll see you right at the top of the 3 o'clock hour, and we'll cover both of those storms. Should we get another tornado warning, we'll break in as needed.
Isn't that